Mock draft season is so here, baby. Bucky Brooks today. We are reacting to another well-respected draft analyst among the NFL community, Bucky Brooks. He's always sitting down with Daniel Jeremiah, and is it Steve Mariucci? They usually sit down with, or Baldy. I don't know, one of the two. Brian Baldinger, that is. But today, Bucky Brooks is giving us late Christmas present, almost a month after Christmas. But it is here, as from the title we can see, Rams go QB, and 5 teams select wide receivers here in this first round. So this is gonna be juicy. I have seen the first 3 picks. Spoiler alert, I should say. It is very, very similar to Daniel Jeremiah's, as it would be for the rest of us. The 3 quarterbacks at the top are just kind of what all 3 teams need, and they're also the 3 best players outside of Marvin Harrison. So it's kind of hard to discredit that. But let's get right into it. Obviously, there is the man of really the last month, Rome Odunze. I said it in my most recent mock draft. Look for him to be skyrocketing up boards. And by skyrocketing, that basically means, well, going up about 2 or 3 spots. But when you're already at the top of the draft, that is skyrocketing. So super good receiver. We will see where he goes. But at number 1, did you expect that? Caleb Williams. And yeah, you probably did. Not really going to get into this much. Obviously, he's saying Bears could recreate the Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes scenario, where they kind of just pass it off once Justin Fields' contract is over to the young gun in Caleb Williams. If this were to happen, I don't know if Bears fans would be able to go even 3 weeks without chanting Caleb Williams at a game. He is just so explosive. His arm is off the charts. It's so impressive, the amount of things that he can do with his arm, with his legs, his football IQ, just everything. I think he's going to be a really good leader in the NFL, and people are going to get behind this kid because he is talented as hell. Pick number 2. I said it was similar. It's dead similar. Drake May here to the Commanders. I would hate to see this as a Giants fan, obviously, but it'd be a great pick for the Commanders. He's going to be a really good quarterback. Some think even the most NFL ready is Drake May. 2 years as a starter. He even sat behind Sam Howell. I almost just said Matt Howell. Don't even know if that's a person. But it would be very deja vu-ish to have Drake May come in. But this time, he'd probably take Sam Howell's job. We will see what route the Commanders go. They could be a team to trade back. You never really know. Adam Peters now at the helm. And he obviously was a big-time contributor to what the 49ers have built over there in San Francisco. So maybe he goes a different route and realizes you got to build this thing in the trenches and surprises everyone. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe he trades back, gets a Olu Fashanu, a Joe Alt, maybe a Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, Leatu Latu. They lost a lot of trench pieces, especially on the defensive side this year, so we'll see how it all goes down. I think Drake May is the best pick, though, if you're the Commanders. And pick number 3, like I said, dead similar. It's Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner from this past season. Goes here at number 3. He definitely is the 3rd best quarterback by a big margin. But the margin between him and Drake May, I think, is slowly closing, even though it is pretty big still. But the thing is, Daniels showed a real trait this past year, going even his last 2 seasons at LSU. If you look at the seasons with Arizona State, you're like, okay, the legs are there, but where's the arm? The talent was there. He just didn't make the right decisions. This past season, he was making the right decisions. He was accurate, literal pinpoint on some of those deep balls. He was phenomenal. It shows development, it shows coachability, and I think the NFL is really going to like that. He goes here, number 3 to the Patriots, who desperately need a quarterback of the future, and almost where the draft starts. Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals, easy. He also has a Larry Fitzgerald-like comparison. I love that comp, honestly. Fitzy coming out of Pitt is very similar to the prospect that Marvin Harrison is coming out of Ohio State this year. So plug and play, wide receiver 1, easy pick for the Cardinals. Now, where the draft really starts, pick number 5, Brock Bowers to the Los Angeles Chargers. Obviously, this could be tackle. This could be wide receiver. It could be Brock Bowers. I think that's the 3 real scenarios. I think Joe Alt and Olu Fashanu definitely need some hype around this number 5 pick. Even the number 4 for those 2 tackles as well, because they need to protect Justin Herbert at all costs. Brock Bowers helps you with that, but he also has the playmaking ability to give you the explosives. He can dink and dunk with you all the way down the field. I've said it the entire draft process. Every mock draft I do, wherever I take him, I say this is the best tight end prospect I have ever seen, and I will stand by that. That I am obviously only 22 years old. So is that saying much? Probably not, but he is very, very good at what he does at the tight end position. My New York Giants. Oh, some people aren't going to like this one. Rome Odunze. Another one that I've been saying. I did it in my most recent mock draft as well. I think I highlighted this earlier in the video, but he could definitely be wide receiver 2. And I put that in there last week. Maybe some people disagreed. I think Malik Neighbors is by far wide receiver 2, maybe even their wide receiver 1. But Rome Odunze is special. He has top-end speed that is elite. I think he'll show that at the Combine and maybe the Senior Bowl. I don't know if he's accepted a Senior Bowl invite or if he's even got one. But he's a bona fide number 1 receiver. He can be your X, but he can also be your Z, play in the slot. He can come out of the backfield. He can do a lot of things with you with his athleticism. His double moves are awesome. His route running is sick. So I would not be mad as a Giants fan. Maybe some people have different opinions, like Malik Neighbors more. I don't think y'all have watched Rome Odunze enough. Just saying. I don't think y'all have. Y'all need to do your research. I love Malik Neighbors too, but Odunze, for me right now, is actually wide receiver 2. So Tennessee Titans here at 7 go Olu Fashanu, and they are finally going to start building up their offensive line. They got Skoronski last year, obviously. They signed Dillard. They have Dylan Radunes as well over there, who might be better at guard. And with Olu Fashanu, it actually makes that line pretty solid. I think that's a solid, average, NFL average offensive line. And then with some development, you can see that line going to the top 10, honestly. Obviously, right tackle is still a question mark. But this is a very good start. Olu Fashanu, my offensive tackle 1, uber athletic. He is a phenomenal athlete. It's impressive the way that he moves. And at number 7 here, I think that's where offensive tackle 1 goes, to be honest. Even though I do think the highest they probably can go is 4, maybe 2 with the Commanders, but that's a stretch. 3 is definitely a possibility, but here at 7 for the Titans, that's a steal. And I already accidentally showed it, but Dallas Turner here at 8, I completely agree with this pick. Falcons need pass rush help badly. We'll see who their new head coach is going to be. I don't think it's going to be Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if it'll be Bill Belichick yet, but that's more of a like a higher chance, in my opinion, than Jim Harbaugh is. Harbaugh is looking like he could be the favorite to take that Chargers job. We'll see. But for the Falcons, edge, pass rush help, this is a perfect pick. He can play the run. He's twitched up. He has a fantastic first step that Bucky Brooks highlights here. A lot of people's edge won, and I can't fault him for thinking that because he's a really outstanding player. Pick number 9, my edge one. Leatu Latu, the speed rusher. They pair him up with another speed rusher in Montez Sweat. That Leatu Latu could honestly take over the combine like Montez Sweat did. And that's no joke. Like, if Leatu Latu goes out and beats Montez Sweat's 40 time and broad jump, vertical jump, I am not going to be surprised. This kid is unbelievably athletic. His first step, we were talking about Dallas Turner's first step. This kid's first step is unreal. He gets around the edge so fast. His bend is incredible. All it is a neck injury. If that neck checks out, he is a top 10 pick, no doubt about it. Maybe even as far as top 6. Because at the Giants, they need a guy that can be across from Kayvon. And he would definitely be that. But here at 9, I think that's a steal. Second edge off the board. I don't know when we got our first edge off the board. I think it was at 9 for Daniel Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken. But great pick here. Great pick. Joe Alt at 10. New York Jets fans would love this. There's no doubt about it. Get a solid protector on the right side to protect Aaron Rodgers and make sure his Achilles doesn't pop again. Anyways, I kind of stopped in my track there. Sorry about that. But the Jets fans would love this. Like I was saying, they need offensive line help, not only for Aaron Rodgers, but for Breece Hall in the running game, because if they can create just, say, 10% more running lanes than they did, Breece Hall might be an all-pro running back. And he probably should have been this year anyways, but Joe Alt definitely helps you in a multitude of ways if you can go get him, and he falls here to 10. Beautiful pick by the Jets. Minnesota Vikings, Daniel Jeremiah, this is where he had Byron Murphy going. This time, Bucky Brooks has Jared Verse going here. So 3 edge players in the top 11. Wouldn't be surprised. This edge class is really good. Verse, best power rusher, obviously. We've been over this. I have said it every single time in my mock drafts. He is the best power rusher in the draft. Not to say he has some speed to his game. With the athleticism that he has, he can turn. What he's really good at is turning in that speed into power. Puts his arms right into guys' chests, goes up and under, and he's at the quarterback's lap instantly. I think I agree with Bucky Brooks in saying that he would be really good in the Brian Flores scheme. And he can also play the run pretty well. We saw that this year. Big upgrade to his game. Props to him for developing that even more over the offseason. Pick 13. I have a feeling I know a guy that's not going to be too happy with this, but it's Terrion Arnold again, cornerback 1 again. Surprising. He is really good. I just have a couple guys higher than him. He does have the ball skills that maybe a Nate Wiggins or a Kool-Aid McKinstry, you could say, doesn't really have. But at the same time, they are both very good cover corners. Terrion Arnold, though, had a fantastic season. I'm not mad at this at all. If you think Terrion Arnold's cornerback 1, Broncos get another star corner across from Pat Surtain. Pick 13, Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. Going to the Raiders, helping out that O-line for now head coach Antonio Pierce. Finally, they signed him. Jeez. I like it. I think if you keep Josh Jacobs, especially, Pierce showed that he does want to stay committed to the run game. I don't know the quarterback situation for next year. That'll be an interesting one. But Fuaga would definitely help take the load off of whoever is the quarterback, because you can hand Josh Jacobs the ball, or Zamir White. I think that's their backup, right? Zamir White, isn't it? Um, and you can open up holes. He is a bruiser in the run game. He will find the next guy he needs to block and absolutely just blindside him. Take him out to the buses, man, because he will take you home. He is that type of blocker in the run game. It is something really fun to watch if you like offensive lineman tape. He likes to hit people, and that's what you want in your offensive line. But I think this is a really good pick. He obviously needs to develop more as a pass blocker, but in a scheme that the Raiders really like to run the ball, this is a very good pick. Pick 14, J.C. Latham to the Saints. So they're looking to upgrade an offensive tackle. Obviously, Ryan Ramczyk been a little inconsistent with getting on the field the last couple years. He is also just getting older, and you have to deal with that at some point. And the Saints just need to get cheaper. Their contracts are horrible. And they need to get some youth. They're a pretty old team, and hopefully they could get some youth in there. They have Olave, that is obviously really good. They've drafted pretty well. They did draft Trevor Penning. I don't know if that was last year or 2 years ago. Who can play tackle. Put J.C. Latham across from him, whether that's on the right or the left side. Then you have Ruiz and McCoy in the middle that are two very solid inside or interior offensive linemen. But definitely you're going to want to look for a replacement for Ryan Ramczyk, because I don't even know if he's coming back next year. Pick 15 is finally Malik Neighbors. Getting Anthony Richardson, this type of guy, oh my God. That would be a fun one to watch. Explosive, to say the least, with him, Josh Downs. Hopefully you bring back Michael Pittman. You have the cap to do so. Unless he gets a better contract and he wants to go elsewhere. But that offense would be scary. Jonathan Taylor, obviously back. He's on contract, so he's happy. Anthony Richardson will be back for next year, healthy as ever, hopefully. But yeah, man, that would be really fun to see this offense with Malik Neighbors. Field stretcher, put him in the backfield, just get him the ball. That's all you need to do. Get him the ball, he does the rest. That's it. Pick 16, here is where Byron Murphy goes this time. So still a top 20 player for Bucky Brooks as well, at least picking-wise. Maybe on his big board he's a little lower, but regardless, goes 16th here to the Seattle Seahawks. They need interior help indefinitely. They've needed it for a while, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Leonard Williams did not help that much, and they're pretty old at that position as well, and I can't imagine they want to keep signing these older guys to just kind of fill in. And Brian Murphy can do a lot for you. He has great athleticism for the position. You can play him at D end if you really want in like a 3-4 scheme. You can also play him inside, maybe not at nose tackle, but at least at D tackle. And he's going to get a lot of production from wherever you put him with his speed, his strength. He's just he is the definition of a disruptor. And this would be a really good pick for the Seahawks. You signed Nwosu to a contract. Boye Mafe looking like he's coming on. Get that interior guy to really round out that defensive line. Speaking of disruptive, Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy's teammate, goes one pick after him to the Jags. Somewhere where the Jags also need to get better is the run game and the run defense, more specifically. And Tavondre Sweat helps you a lot with that. Mammoth of a man. And like I said, a huge, huge disruption in the middle of your defense. You have to account for him wherever he's at, which is usually in the middle. And he gets a lot of attention. He's got some really strong hands, good athleticism for his position, and I don't hate it here at 17. Maybe take a Kool-Aid, though, or a Nate Wiggins to really round out your secondary here, and I think you could get a D tackle maybe just as good. Maybe not just as good, but like at least good in the run game. Like a Chris Jenkins or a Leonard Taylor, who also gives you pass rush upside. So I think I would rather go corner here if I'm the Jags, but I am totally fine with Tavondre Sweat. He's a fantastic player. Pick 18, Cincinnati Bagels. Bagels? Really? Bengals. Oh my God. Go Brian Thomas Jr., obviously T. Higgins, the big name. Could leave in the offseason. We don't know. They don't have a lot of cap space as it is, and they have to sign Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow at some point. I think, no, they already got Joe Burrow handled, but Jamar Chase at some point. And obviously you have other guys around the roster that you're going to have to sign. So getting Brian Thomas, a field stretcher, big body, kind of like T. Higgins, but has a lot more speed than T. Higgins, at least top end speed. And I think that would be a really good duo with Thomas and Jamar Chase, because Jamar's a really good route runner, can get a lot of separation wherever you want him to go. Brian Thomas, deep ball, a lot of separation. So he could definitely develop some more route running skills and nuances, but I think with Jamar Chase on the roster as well, he could definitely take him under his wing and be like, hey man, watch this. And you're going to have two really, really good receiving options for Joe Burrow, along with whoever else is on that team. Pick number 19, we saw it in the title. Bo Nix is going to LA. Staying on the West Coast as he's up in Eugene, Oregon right now, or at least was the past 2 seasons. Matthew Stafford has been a little bit injury prone the last couple years. He's also 36 years old, as Bucky Brooks highlights. So I would not be surprised. The only thing is, Stafford has a couple years on his contract, and I think if you're going to take a shot at a quarterback here, knowing that Stafford has a couple years, I might actually go J.J. McCarthy. Bo Nix is probably a lot more pro-ready than McCarthy, but I think McCarthy's upside is a lot higher. So if you really want to take a shot at a QB, I think I'd go J.J. McCarthy here for that reason. But Bo Nix is a fantastic player. The only other thing is, how long do you plan to play Stafford? How long does he plan on playing? Because Bo Nix is already 23. So, rookie, 23 years old, not usually... The NFL is not usually very high on that. But Bo Nix has been fantastic the last couple of seasons. Even with all the doubt that I had of him, he has consistently proved me wrong the last 2 years, so he is definitely deserving of this first-round pick. Pittsburgh Steelers go Amarius Mims. Can't blame him. You need someone across from Broderick Jones. Go get his old teammate. Maybe just as athletic as Broderick Jones, if not more athletic. Just as big as him, if not bigger than Broderick Jones. Amarius Mims moves people, man, and he's got great athleticism. And Pittsburgh obviously wanted to run the ball this year, and their O-line just didn't really give him a chance in some games. Amarius Mims definitely helps you out there. Pick number 21, Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon. I actually really like this pick. I just don't know if I'd take a center this high, personally, because it's not a Creed Humphrey. It's not a Tyler Linderbaum. But Jackson Powers-Johnson is very, very good. I would not be surprised if he makes it into the back end of this first round to a team that really needs a center or interior help. Miami Dolphins definitely need that. They need to keep Tua on his feet. They also could use this in the run game and start running more between the tackles or even in the A and B gap. So, I mean, Jackson Powers-Johnson, he's a really good run blocker, solid pass blocker, could still work on both a little bit more. But I actually like the pick for the Dolphins. I do. I just don't know if he'll go this high. I think you could trade back, probably accumulate some more draft capital, then draft him. A lot of people probably haven't even heard this name in the first round. But, again, do your research a little bit. You might not be as mad about it as you might think, Dolphins fans. He is a really good center, really good player. You definitely won't be as mad as me taking Bo Nix here for the Dolphins in my last mock draft. But pick 22, Nate Wiggins. I would hate this personally, but really good fit for the Eagles. They need corner help. They need secondary help. They need linebacker help. They need anything to do with coverage. They need help. And Nate Wiggins can fix a lot of problems for you. He can guard the wide receiver one of the opposing team. He has the size, the athleticism, the range, the length. He's going to be a really good corner in the NFL, I believe. And he's gonna show out at the combine. I know that for sure. I just don't know. I do understand what people come from, where the Eagles love to get trench help in the first round. So we'll see. Obviously, the last time they took not like a line, like whether it's defensive or offensive line in the first round, I believe it was Jalen Reagor. So yeah, moving on. Pick 23 is Troy Fautanu. I love this pick for the Texans. He has flexibility to play at tackle, I believe, but mainly will be in the guard spot for you. And you already have two solid tackles, but Dwayne Brown's getting older. Or not Dwayne Brown, sorry, George Fant. I think he's like 36 or something. Definitely getting up there in age. Fautanu could take over if you feel like he can do that. If not, you replace a Shaq Mason or whoever else is in the interior of that line. They need help. He can help you in the run game. He's a good pass blocker as well. He blocked Penix's blind side, I believe. I think he was on the right side. Could be wrong there, but Fautanu's fantastic. Good athlete. And, yeah, Texans could use the help and keep CJ Stroud on his feet because we don't want him to have too many concussions like the one that he got this year against the Jets. Pick 24, Tyler Guyton to the Cowboys. I mean, I understand they want to go tackle. That's what they've done a lot in their past. I just don't know if the tackle is Tyler Guyton. I'm just not as high as some of these guys apparently that are in the draft community. Maybe I need to go back and look. But to me, Jordan Morgan is a much better prospect. Whether you see him at tackle or guard, I see him at a tackle position. And maybe that's why they went Tyler Guyton. But I completely understand. But with Guyton, you can develop him before Tyron Smith leaves, which is a good thing because he needs to definitely polish up his pass protection and run blocking. And you can definitely do that behind Tyron Smith, who would be one of the best mentors you will ever get. So, good pick there for the Cowboys. Pick 25, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Man, that cornerback group, if they could stay healthy, Jair, Eric Stokes, and you add Kool-Aid McKinstry, my Lord, I love it. They do need secondary help. They need more depth at that position. You can never have enough good corners on a team. and that's a fact. Same with edge rushers. Packers go corner here. My cornerback one in the draft is Kool-Aid McKinstry. He goes here at 25. Fantastic value, in my opinion, because he could have gone one pick ahead at the Cowboys, even at the Texans, the Eagles, and you get him here at 25. So, fantastic pick. Super athletic, explosive. He returned punts. You're not going to return punts if you're not an explosive athlete. So, yeah. Pick 26. Keon Coleman. Is this Mike Evans' replacement? Obviously, Mike Evans, like they said, will be turning 31 this season. Had another 1,000-yard year. 10 years in a row. First 10 seasons, whatever you want to call it. Mike Evans has been one of the most elite wide receivers, most consistent wide receivers we will ever see. I think Coleman would fit this offense really well. You keep him in Florida as well, and he can definitely grow into your X receiver. He loves going up for contested balls. He could definitely work on his route running, but he is a very good athlete, and I don't think people give him enough credit. A dude that was also returning punts at 6'4". Who returns punts at 6'4"? It's absurd. Keon Coleman, he's kind of been shadowed out of the first round, but he goes here at 26. I like it. I still think he could be a fringe first round pick. There are some other guys moving up the board for me though, like a Brian Thomas, like a Tez Walker, a Troy Franklin. But Keon Coleman here at 26, really good fit. Pick 27. My guy Jordan Morgan goes to the Arizona Cardinals. He stays down there in the AZ, in the heat. I think this is a really good pick. You don't know what DJ Humphrey's availability is going to be for the near future. And I believe he had an injury to end the season. I could be wrong there, but I think he did. And obviously some people see Morgan as a guard. I still see him as a tackle. I think you put him across from Paris Johnson at right and then move Paris Johnson over to the left, and you have a dominant tackle duo for the next at least 4 years. So I really like the pick here. Marvin Harrison, and you basically just protect Kyler Murray with Morgan and Harrison. So I love it. Buffalo Bills go Cooper DeJean. I think this is a money pick, personally. Maybe one of the best athletes overall in the draft. Out of Iowa, returns punts and kicks. Like I've said a couple times with a couple other guys, he can play slot, he can play outside, he can play safety. Wherever you want Cooper DeJean, he will play. Superb athlete. He is going to absolutely obliterate the combine. It is going to be fun to watch. Yeah, you're going to want to watch when he's up. But obviously the depth of the Bills secondary hasn't been great the last couple years. They're a bit old in that room as well, with Poyer, Micah Hyde, Rasul Douglas, who they traded for, Tre'Davious White, another season-ending injury. If some of their young guys like Kaiir Elam, and if they somehow get Cooper DeJean here at 28, they have Teron Johnson as well. Who's Jackson? It's not Deion Jackson. I can't remember. They have some young guys there that if they can develop, especially Kaiir Elam, that group can be looking a whole lot better. Pick number 29, Kansas City Chiefs go Chris Jenkins. I am not a big fan of this. I think you could easily go with a receiver, an A.D. Mitchell maybe, a Troy Franklin, Tez Walker. You could go even Leonard Taylor. I think I'm much higher on than Chris Jenkins, because Chris Jenkins, I just don't see him having the pass rush upside of some of these other guys from the interior. Regardless, I understand Chris Jones might not even be coming back next year, so it is definitely a massive unknown I just don't know if Chris Jenkins is the right D tackle to pick. Even going D tackle is a little bit suspect, in my opinion. Here at 29, with the ones that are left on the board, I think you could get him in the second round. But hey, that's why I'm not. This is why I don't work in the NFL, all right? Pick number 30 is Chop Robinson. I don't know if you're going to find a more athletic, I don't know if you're going to find a more athletic edge rusher, not named Leatu Latu or Chop Robinson. These two guys, unbelievably athletic, if I can speak English, just twitched up to the max. The production hasn't really been there for Chop, but if you can just develop him a little bit, the pressure production will be there. The sacks will end up being there. Definitely needs to be a little bit better in the run game as well. But with his athleticism, I'm not going to worry about that. Pick 31 is Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. Had a really good 2022 game on film against Marvin Harrison. Probably, honestly, one of the most impressive performances against Marvin Harrison. And this isn't a Big Ten guy. This is out of Toledo. He has great length, great range, good athleticism. He has the ball skills to be a top-end cornerback in the league, and the Niners need that across from Charvarius Ward. We saw Ambry Thomas, Lenore as well. They make mistakes, and without Hufunga there, their mistakes turn into big mistakes, explosive plays, touchdowns, you name it. Quinion Mitchell can sure up the opposite side of the field. I think he's going to go higher than this, to be honest. Unfortunately, for the 49ers fans out there, hoping that you might get him here at 31, it's looking like he might go higher than this. So, pick 32, Braylon Trice, the edge rusher out of UW. Another outstanding athlete. Had the most pressures of anyone in college football, I believe, at the Division I level. And he had a game where he had like 16 pressures in a game. He dominated the Texas game, went a little bit quiet against Michigan, but that Michigan O-line is so good. Could start to develop a little more pass rushing moves. But regardless, putting him across from Odafe Owe, it's going to work out pretty well for you. Two really athletic pass rushers who can get a ton of pressure. So, love the pick there for the Ravens. Their defense gets even stronger. That is going to be it for Bucky Brooks. Mock Draft 1.0. We've been blessed. We got Daniel Jeremiah last week. We got Bucky Brooks this week. And I believe Dane Brugler from The Athletic, I believe, dropped a 2-round mock draft. So if you want to see me react to that, put it down in the comments below. Yo, react to it, bruh. I'm playing. But if you do want to see me react to that, hit the thumbs up, comment down below. Obviously, hit subscribe, notification bell so you know when I'm uploading. Because it's mock draft season, baby. There's going to be a lot of content to be put out. Let me know what you guys want to see, whether it's positional rankings or I could do film videos on someone, maybe one of my favorite players, or someone you guys want to see that maybe you're unsure about. Because I think that'd be really fun. And we could even go do it over on Twitch as well, and then I just upload the VOD on to YouTube. However we want to do it, but I'd love to hear you guys in the comments. I love seeing your suggestions and everything. So thank you guys so much for the recent support as well. Keep on checking out the Bears franchise because it's getting juicy. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy and peace.